we'll start with a little bit of prayer, but the service will be devoted right to the worship and singing. So encourage people to come. That's 7 o'clock on Wednesday. And then just a little housekeeping around that. Many of you are hosting these young people in your home, and we are going to have a meal for them here before service, and then breakfast for them the next morning here. So those who are hosting them will not have to take care of food. You just have to give them a corner in your room to stand them or whatever so that they can just have a spot for the night. And then back here on Thursday morning, and we'll feed them here before they leave. So that's Wednesday. 8:30 in the morning? Okay, on Thursday. And then next weekend also brings us to some graduation. On Thursday night at 6:30 at Union Station, on Thursday night, everybody say Thursday night, will be a reception for the Sarton twins who are graduating. And then on Saturday night, everybody say Saturday night. You can do whatever you want, because Sunday night's the night that I want you to talk about, because it's next Sunday night. Next Sunday night, I want you back here, please, at 6 o'clock to honor our high school graduates. So our Sunday night service next week, instead of being here, will be at Union Station, and it will be business casual, so you don't have to wear your tie if you're bound to wear one. Just come, but we'll dress up kind of nicely for our seniors and acknowledge them. 6 o'clock next Sunday night, all right? So everybody got that? We will also be putting on our app the verse for this coming week. I did not get that put up in time for our sound guys to get it fixed, so it will be posted on the app, and we'll put it on Facebook for you. But how many of you got this week's verse down? Good. Proud of you there. I know I'm telling you things for next week. Next week, come back and we'll celebrate, but you gave an additional $8,800 toward our mortgage in the month of April. That's a tremendous gift, and you deserve a big hand for doing that. So between March and April, we've been able to apply an extra $15,000. So thank you very much for making that happen. Well, it's Mother's Day, and we're going to talk about Mom here for a minute, but I'm going to give you a break. You've been worshiping well, and I know we had some folks come in late, and you didn't get a chance to hug everybody or touch everybody that you wanted to. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to do that, okay? If somebody you haven't greeted in a while, haven't seen, you've got a couple of minutes to do that this morning, starting right now.
Through you, I can
All right, about 90 seconds. About 90 seconds or so. 85, maybe 80 seconds. All right, we're down to about 30 seconds. Again, we're glad that all of you have come today. And if I fail to remind you, if you want to take some pictures up here, we have this little backdrop here. And if you want to bring your family up here once church is over, you're welcome to do that. We'll move this podium and things out of the way. Got a lot of young people in here this morning. I'm curious just what do y'all think makes a good mom? What is it? Good cook. Brother Steve didn't hear me say young people, did he? But he's right, Mom. How many got a good cook for a mom? Look at there. All of us fat people have our hand up. Absolutely. So what do you think? What's a good mom?
She's sweet, and she takes me to the park.
Aha. What about you?
Feeds me ice cream and cake.
Ice cream and cake. That sounds familiar. What about you, ladies? Either of you? What makes a good mom?
My mom, she lets me have time to play in the middle of time to do school.
Aha. Mm-hmm. You sure? What do you think makes a good mom? Got something?
A supporter?
A supporter. There you go. You have something? Makes a good mom?
My mommy let me have ice cream.
I'm with you there. What about you boys? What makes a good mama?
Give me popsicle.
Give you what? That popsicle didn't last long, did it, bud? You got one? What's a good mom? She lets him have new clothes. Yeah. He's spiffy back there, too. Look at him. Colin, you have one you've been thinking?
She's here on Mother's Day.
His mama's in Jamaica. Hall of Fame moms. Now, you're going to help me here for the next 15 minutes, okay? And we're going to talk about what makes a good mom. But we're going to do it by trying to think together moms in the Bible, okay? And the way we're going to do this, we're going to pretend we're back in school. And Hannah's going to help me. She's going to be the secretary. And when you tell me the name of a mom in the Bible that you think goes into the Mother's Hall of Fame, then she's going to write her name down here. and we're going to tape it to the podium, and we're going to talk about her and why should she be in Mother's Hall of Fame. I'm not cheating you guys. I didn't give you a chance on this side to say what makes a good mom. She let you sit by her. All right, in the Bible, a good mom. Hannah. I heard Hannah here, and I heard what? Mary. There's two. You want to do that for us? Either, whatever you want to do on those pieces of paper. We got two so far. Eve? Elizabeth. Who was that?
I don't know.
I like enthusiastic participants. Otherwise, they make a preacher look really silly. So thank you for at least giving us a Bible name. Yes. But who was Elizabeth? Anybody remember? John the Baptist's mom. So would she be, yeah, put Elizabeth on there too. Ruth. Naomi. Let's stop for just a minute. Let's take some of these. When you get those written down, tape them up there. We'll talk about them one at a time. I got a good secretary. She doesn't know it, but I have a lot of other work that I need done, and I'm getting her started. I'm sorry? Just go ahead and tape those up there if you don't mind. Just if you have to tape one to the other. Hall of Fame moms. Now, in everyday life, while she's doing that, let's talk about just life here. What makes a good mom? I know we like to eat, and I know she needs to clothe us, and I know, but in your minds, what are some of the things about mom that make mom different from just any other person? Tolerance. Woo. Yeah, tolerance and patience. Hugs. Love. Protector. Tape those others right here on this. That way. All right, Naomi and Ruth. They were mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, right? I didn't do anything. All right, somebody said Mary. Mary, the mother of Jesus. What about Mary made her a good mother? I realize we don't know a whole lot about her from, I don't know whether she was a good cook or not. Say that again. All right. She said that Mary saw God's work in her son and pondered all of that in her heart. But what did Mary do? She listened. She what? She pushed him. She endured criticism. Thank you, Hannah. You can sit down till we get another one. Thank you. She endured criticism. She pushed her son to perform his first miracle. She pondered what God had told her. Okay. She was willing not just to obey the word, but she was willing to let whatever that journey, wherever it took her, she was willing to go. Whatever happened to her. Who else have we got here? Hannah. Thank you, Hannah. What about Hannah? What about this lady? She gave up her son for the work of the Lord, right? She followed through with her commitment. Even before she had the son, what characteristic marked her life? prayer, but there was also included with that, sorry? A worshiper, thank you. She was a worshiper. So she was a worshiper. I'm sorry, it's not every day that my daughter is eating in church and answering questions. I thought we took care of that before she got into school. So it kind of funny there for a moment. Sorry. Hannah. She was a worshiper. Remember, she would come to worship and her husband would give her extra gifts. So she was worshiping and she was praying and she gave her son and she was faithful and she was a lady of prayer. Elizabeth. She was the mother of who? John the Baptist. How old was she? She was an older lady. Yes, sir. But she allowed the Lord to work in her heart and in her life, right? Now, let me toss out a couple of ladies that you may not have mentioned here. Jochebed, thank you. Moses' mom. What about her? Anybody remember that story? What did she do? She hid her son in the water, but before they got to the river, what did she do? She kept him alive because remember, the male children were supposed to be killed, right? And when they were born, if they were a girl, they would let them live. If it was a boy, they would kill it. Because the king was afraid there were getting to be too many of these Jewish men around, and he was afraid that one of them would rise up, and so take care of that. Let's get rid of all the boys when they're born. But she kept her son alive, and the only reason she put him in the water was because he had gotten big enough that she was afraid she could no longer keep him hidden. So she did that. She worshiped him. Did she worship God? Not only did she put him in the water, but after Pharaoh's daughter found him, then what did Moses' mom become? Basically his caretaker. So when Moses was ready to follow the voice of God, he had already been trained and taught by his mom, right? You all are pretty good. We could go a long way with this because some of these, like Eve and you mentioned a couple of others, Ruth and Naomi, I didn't really get onto them. I just had 3 or 4 because I knew my time was limited. So we may come back sometime and hear you talk about these other ladies and what made them great moms that should go into the Hall of Fame. But when I think about Hannah and Elizabeth and Mary and Jochebed and even James and John's mother and we mentioned John the Baptist's mom, Elizabeth, already. But these ladies didn't just have faith, but they had a wholly committed, whatever happens is fine kind of attitude. They were fierce when it came to God's plan for their life and the life of their child. And they accepted whatever was going to happen. They were accepting it. It wasn't that they were wanting bad things to happen. It wasn't that they went looking for it. But when God put his hand on their lives and called them and called their children, they became almost ferocious lions in a sense, that nothing was going to deter them from that being accomplished. They took crazy risks. Jochebed, to hide a newborn baby. And then when he got too big to hide anymore, to put him in a basket and put him in the river, probably knowing that Pharaoh's daughter was going to be coming along, because I'm sure that was a regular occurrence there, she just took some crazy risks. And Mary, they had some outrageous expectations. They didn't just expect their children to grow up and be good people, but they expected God to use them in extravagant ways. Their lives were filled with difficult times and tough days, and they probably did not see all of the wonder and glory that we now are able to look back and see in the lives of their children. But they paid the price that their children could be what God wanted them to be, and they did it by being women of great faith and courage and willing to take on whatever burden was before them. And moms, I know that when it comes to everyday life, nobody better get between you and your child. I know that you have a fierceness to protect and guide and desire to see them have a good life. But I encourage you to examine your faith just a little bit and your expectations of your children, and push them and teach them and tell them and remind them that God will do great things in your life and in your heart if you will believe Him. And be willing to take some risk. Be willing to expect some outrageous things, because the God who has called you and who has put you here is not an ordinary put on the shelf kind of God, but it's a God who calls us to take great risk and a God who performs outrageous things. And my final little point to you is that there's nobody who has the influence in a life like Mom does. Dad has a strong influence, and we'll talk about him in a month or so. But Mom has a special place that nobody else has. And if Mom will allow the faith of God to work in her and set those expectations and push her children, most of the time, you're going to see your children become successful in the kingdom of God. That's why God made moms. That's why God gave us them, is to guide and direct. And so, moms, I both pat you on the back here today and thank you for being faithful. And thank you for honoring God and for giving your children a great opportunity to be all that God's called them to be. But I challenge you, take just a little bit deeper step into those waters of faith and trust God just a little bit more and pray a little more intently and maybe listen a little closely, and then let your child know. You hear those prayers about people that are they're lost without a message, or in faraway countries, or right here in our own community there are people who are caught up in drugs and alcohol addictions and can't get free. And let your child know, you know what, God may use you someday. God may use you to set those people free. You may be the answer to somebody's prayer request, because that's what Samuel really was. That's what he was. So come again and we'll pick this up and talk about it more. But right now I hear stomachs growling, and I know that Mama, I know you have a lot of plans for Mom. So this morning, before you go, we want to just take a couple of moments and recognize the ladies just collectively here today, and thank you all for being with us. I know that we have some new ones here, some mothers who weren't mothers this time last year. I think I see a couple right out there. So glad that you all are here and sharing this time with us. Are there some others that I'm missing over on this side? But we're glad all of you are here. We have 10 gifts, and we're randomly going to just draw them out of this list right here. So if you do not have a little white ticket, you need one. Are there any ladies that do not have a little white ticket? Thank you, Brother Anthony. Anybody that doesn't have one, Brother Anthony will take care of it for you. Be sure and mark that one. We're going to put it at the bottom. Anybody over here need a ticket? Anybody right in this section need one? Everybody over here good? All right. If you'll bring me those bottom halves, I guess we'll put them in here. Let them have a chance. Thank you, sir. All right. This is the fun part. All right, Sister Leanna, come and pull one of these out for me. All right. Last four numbers, 4093. All right, Sister Whirl, you want us to bring you a bag? Bring a good one. Brother Steve, any of those bags right there. Thank you for being here this morning, Sister Whirl. Pull one of those out. And if it's your mother's, your daddy will. $4058. Sister Jane, welcome. Anyone that you want. Thank you for being here today. See if you can get Elizabeth's out of there. Picky, picky. Thank you. 4103. All right, great grandma. There she comes. There are gift cards in these bags to various places. The value is the same in all of them. So, I'm glad you didn't. Pick one out. 4059. Sister Moore. All right. 4062. Who? Rebecca, all right. How about 4089? Aha. We'll deliver it. You can come, we'll deliver it to you. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it very much. How many have I got left? I've still got a few left. You want to pull one of those out for me? 4096. Aha. Thank you for coming. Colin, since your mom's in Jamaica, I'll let you pull a card here. 4061. Sister Karen. Nerney gets one. I got two left, all right? So here we go. 4105. Ha-ha. There you go. You and Mom can go shopping. And I got one last one. Let it be me, let it be me. 4084. 4084. Aha. Sister Money. Thank you, sir. Thanks to all of you for being here this morning. I appreciate it very much. And if you'll come up here with me for just a minute. Y'all still have to buy Sister Money something for her birthday. Today's her birthday. So happy birthday. I just want to take a minute and honor my wife, tell her I love and appreciate her very much, and thank her for all of her hard work, both here and at home. And she put all this together for us. Thank you. She is a good cook, and we got to hurry and get home so she can cook lunch. Now, seriously, I appreciate very much all that she does for our church, and she does a whole lot of things behind the scene that I get credit for, but I love and appreciate her very much. Do you want to say something?
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and all of you other ladies. Thank you for being a lady. Mothers have a great influence, and whether you're a mom or not, you do have a nurturing spirit, and you have ways of influencing others as a mom. Thank you for all that you do, for living your life faithfully every day. It does make a difference. And I'd say one of your top 5 jobs in life should be doing the best job you can as a mom, not just to provide for everyday activities, education, all of that, but your top priority should be that you give them enough stuff that they know without a shadow of a doubt that making heaven is the most important thing that they can do in their life. And I hope that all of you are putting things in your children every day so that at the end of their life they can say, I have no excuses. Mom told me the way to go and the way to live. I've told my children when I am gone that I hope someday when they lay down that they can still hear tape recordings of things that is important in life. I'm glad they're successful in their jobs and their careers, but if they don't make heaven, I'm going to be disappointed. And that also makes me have to work harder too, because if I want them there, I've got to make sure I'm there. I've got to live the life before them and to set an example that they can follow. Thank you all for all you do. You're a great bunch of people. I don't know of any people anywhere else that is any better than what we have here. It's just a good, solid core foundation of strong families, and I just encourage you to do all that you can do to be the best and to allow God to use us. God is doing something in our church, and I'm anxious and excited and want to see what all God is going to do through each of you that are sitting here. You may think that you're not important and that you don't have a lot to play, but everybody's little job, working together as a team, united, God can do great things through us. And we want to build God the greatest church that we can at Findlay United. Lord bless you all today.
Amen. God bless all of you. Thank you so much for being here today, for celebrating with us. You all have a great Mother's Day. We will see you back here on Wednesday night. You're dismissed in Jesus' name. If you want to take pictures, feel free to come and do that.